I'm Adam Anshell for Pro Football Weekly with a look at the best remaining players in the NFL draft following the first round. It's presented by Verizon Fios. I'm joined by senior editor Eric Edholm. And Eric, there's a bunch of names that we saw that could have been first rounders but are still left for teams in the second round, starting really with a name that at one point was the #1 pick in many mock drafts.
Yeah, I think when the Carolina Panthers started their homework for that first pick in the draft, DaQuan Bowers was heavily involved. Obviously a kid from Clemson that they were very well aware of. But as the medical information started coming out on him, and it appeared to several team doctors that he had a microfracture-like procedure done on that knee, holes poked in the knee, possible long-term degenerative damage, it really raised some serious red flags for teams. Other teams did sign off on him, so I think that Bowers will go off in the first, say, 15 picks of the second round. Somebody's going to get a good player. How long will he last in the NFL? That's the biggest question, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a sad situation. We know he's talented. He's a good kid. It's just that knee is holding him back. Don't know where he'll go. But even besides Bowers, there's plenty of good players still available.
Yeah, a couple cornerbacks that I think could have factored in easily into round one. We heard Brandon Harris is a possibility, maybe the Eagles. Aaron Williams is somebody the Steelers liked at free safety or possibly corner. And a couple tight ends, Kyle Rudolph, Lance Kendricks. Expect those guys to go off at some point. I think it's going to be interesting to see how far Justin Houston, the pass rusher, he was mentioned as a possibility to the Jets at the end of the round. The Packers at 32 certainly had to look at him. He's a guy who, after this positive marijuana test, might fall a little bit farther because of that.
Yeah, a few of these guys that were late sliders in the draft, but now still good talent available in the second round. Really, everyone's talking about, though, the quarterbacks. We had 4 go in the first round. There's still 3 more names out there that people talk maybe first, second round picks. Andy Dalton, Ryan Mallett, Colin Kaepernick. Where do you see these guys going? How long do you think they'll last?
Well, it's interesting when you look at how the second round stacks up. The Patriots are picking first. Yes, they have another pick, and they got that choice from the Panthers last year. That's why they're in that slot. They traded out a number 28. I expect them to do the same at 33. And they're in a power position because the 2 teams picking right behind them, the Bills and Bengals, both need quarterbacks. So, you know, one of those teams can stay patient, get their guy, but other teams may want to swoop in, get their player. So the Patriots are going to put that thing up for sale. Somebody's going to probably come in. I think they're going to move out. The quarterback is what makes that pick so valuable.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Nearly a third of the league needed a quarterback. Many got him in the first round with 4 going, but still a few teams that didn't. One of them, the Arizona Cardinals, they decided to pass up Blaine Gabbert or Jake Locker. They went with Patrick Peterson there. They're also a possibility. The Seahawks, again, they passed as well.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals may prefer to go the veteran route. There's some strong evidence out there that they've heavily investigated Kevin Kolb from the Eagles. He would be available by a trade if trades are allowed. That's the big thing. We've got to wait to see what the ruling is Friday morning. If it already has happened by the time you're watching that, they could be involved in a Kolb trade. And we've heard a lot of evidence suggesting that they are very interested. So that's one factor. That's why they went Patrick Peterson. That's why they didn't trade into the back of the first round to get a quarterback. Seahawks, another team that I think would look for a West Coast type of guy.
I think if anyone's going to dominate the next 2 rounds of the draft, it's got to be the New England Patriots. You mentioned they have the 33rd pick. Trading out of the first round, they got another second-round pick. Really, Bill Belichick doing what he does best.
This is his favorite time of year, not called the Super Bowl. I mean, he's so good at manipulating the draft board. And it's interesting, people say, you got to get a pass rusher, you've got to get this, you've got to get that. I think Bill has looked at this crop of talent, and like a lot of us, especially Nolan and Rocky here, and said, it's an average draft. The strength of the draft might be the depth of it a little later in the second round. But guess what? He's got those 3 second-rounders, 2/3. Expect more deals, and not just with 33. I expect a lot of other trades throughout the draft, too.
He seems to do it every year, year in, year out. That is a look at the best remaining players. For the best draft coverage around, be sure to follow us on Twitter or go to ProFootballWeekly.com.